we've really learned a lot today about the numbers, the culture, the buying power. And I want to end today's seminar with a special guest. He's a friend of Bomba Radio and Hispanics throughout our state, Senator Richard Blumenthal. Come on down. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. I am really excited and honored to be with you today, partly because, number one, radio is such an exciting medium. I know that because I do a fair amount of marketing, and not all of it is on purpose, but I try to be purposeful in what I do in outreach. And radio is one of the most effective ways to reach people. It reaches an audience that otherwise I couldn't talk to. And that's especially true of the stations that Bomba has. You all know why, because to reach our Latino families in Connecticut is more and more important. I go to places all around the state, and particularly in big cities, to have that facility, to have that ability to outreach is so important. So I am here, number one, to say thank you to John Fuller for inviting me today, for the great public service that his radio stations do in informing people, because I wouldn't be able to reach a lot of those folks. Not me personally, but I mean me as United States Senator and my colleagues in public service who need to get messages out. You know, and I know, in a time of emergency, radio is the only thing that works. In times that people are driving, whether they're taking their kids somewhere or going to work, radio reaches them. And it provides such essential information in ways that they absorb it. And again, I'm way out of my depth of expertise, and you may have heard this already, but what I find is that when people hear something without watching, it penetrates a lot better. When they watch, they're looking at the images. And that's a lot of what is occupying their brain. When they are listening, if they're absorbing something, they hear the words. They don't just see the images. If I am on TV for something, a lot of times the next day, people will say to me, "Oh, I saw you, and you were talking about something." I can't remember now. What was it you were... And they get all embarrassed. And I say, don't worry, that happens to me too. I see other people on TV, I can't remember what they were talking about. Now, TV is a very powerful way to reach people too, for other reasons, and I'm sure many of you use it. But this is just a small insight, and it's probably not worth very much. But as a person who tries to reach people, tries to educate, and I try a lot of times to educate people about defective car ignition switches or exploding airbags or rail safety or other kinds of consumer issues. When they hear it on the radio, they'll say the next day, you know, I heard you talking on the radio about that rail safety issue, about Metro North, about the delays, about the car safety issue. They hear it and it penetrates. So as I say, TV has its own unique power, and I can talk about that too from a layman's standpoint, but particularly in reaching our Latino population, this medium is hugely powerful, hugely powerful. The other thing I want to say is that education and outreach, particularly for small businesses, has never been more important. in Connecticut, small businesses are the sources of our new jobs. That's true really nationally, I think, too, but if you look at the numbers in Connecticut, you all know it. Small businesses are the job creators. Small and medium-sized businesses create new employment. The big companies, and I do a lot of work with them, will create some jobs, they'll keep some jobs, but small and medium-sized businesses create new jobs because they expand. And I'm a member of the Armed Services Committee. I do a lot of work with our defense contractors, with the supply chain that provides the parts and components for our submarines, our airplane engines, Sikorsky, Electric Boat, Pratt & Whitney, and they perform great service to our national security and to our economy. Small businesses are the ones that make those parts and components. Small businesses are the ones who furnish the food that their employees eat. They provide transportation. They are the ones who really grow if those companies stay strong. And I'm also on the Veterans Affairs Committee. In fact, I'm the ranking Democrat on the Veterans Affairs Committee. So I spend a lot of my time on veterans issues and encourage businesses to hire more veterans. In fact, I just came from the Rocky Hill Veterans Facility, and this nation all too often has failed to keep faith with its veterans when it comes to skill training and job opportunities. We need to leave no veteran behind. Health care and other kinds of care that our veterans need, particularly coming back with post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury, the hidden, invisible wounds of war. Small businesses hire veterans. Big businesses do too. But when you expand, when small businesses expand, they can hire veterans. And I hope that you'll continue to do that. I hope that maybe we can showcase some of what you're doing to hire more veterans. We've done it with some of the bigger companies, but it would be great to do it with small and medium-sized businesses. So thank you for being here today. Thank you again for Bomba. I know that, I think that this session was supposed to end about 6 minutes ago, so I have minus 6 minutes to go. But I really want to thank you for your patience and your attention and your commitment to the economy of the greatest state in the nation. Thank you so much.
Bomba FM, variedad explosiva.
Bomba, boom, boom, da, ba, doom.